these are back-to-back segments where it's just going to be me versus you two. Because you guys aren't high on Baker Mayfield either, which is something that, I don't understand.
It boggles my mind that Baker Mayfield.
Like Matt Ryan and Baker Mayfield. And I'm over here getting called crazy saying Russell Wilson's going to be good for the Broncos.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Robbie Anderson threw a shot at Baker Mayfield, and I thought it was ridiculous by him. An Instagram fan account posted a picture of Baker in a Carolina jersey, and Robbie Anderson commented no with a lot of O's. And I just want to ask you guys, is Robbie Anderson out of his lane for this comment? What do you think, Joe?
I mean this in the most respectful way to Robbie Anderson. He's got to focus on himself in his game. This past season was his worst career in his entire season. He had 53 receptions, 519 yards,
worst
and 5
season
touchdowns.
in his entire career. You
And
said worst
season,
career in his entire season.
Worst season ever, worst season of his career.
There you go.
This was really bad. We were expecting him to take a leap with Sam Darnold especially. He had a really nice year his last year there while they were both together in New York, and he played all 17 games this past season, still was only able to put up just barely over 500 yards. And then if you look at the quarterback position, sure, I'm not high on Baker, but if the Panthers can get Baker Mayfield, they should be all over this. I mean, he's a significant upgrade over Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, and P.J. Walker. All three of them were honestly brutal last season. None of them completed more than 60% of their passes. Darnold gave you a little more, or Darnold and Cam really gave you some production on the ground. They both had 5 rushing touchdowns. But as a quarterback, if I'm Robbie, I want Baker. He's a much better quarterback than all these guys they have here. Maybe, he signed a 2-year, $20-something million extension last offseason. They're expecting him to be a key contributor in this offense. DJ Moore, we know, is a top 15 receiver already. Terrence Marshall was former third-round pick. He had a really bad season his rookie year. He was a healthy scratch for a lot of these games. We were expecting him to do a lot better. But if I'm Robbie, I'm trying to focus more on how can I get better as a receiver, whether that is with Darnold or whoever might be PJ Walker, whoever you want to work out in the offseason, because putting up 500 yards while playing all 17 games after you're given a 2-year, $25 million extension, you have to look at yourself first, because Baker comes in, you have to repair that relationship. And I know there's reports earlier in the offseason they had a mutual disinterest, and that's why I don't want Baker to go there, because the mutual disinterest is one of the funniest reports in NFL history. So, the selfish part of me wants that to not happen. Robbie is out of line. I mean, he shouldn't have said this, because if Baker does come, he's an upgrade, and I think he would be pretty silly to not think that.
All right, so do I think the comment was out of line? Yes. But let me say this. If I'm Robbie Anderson, and I am the receiver that I am, and I've had the unfortunate opportunity to have subpar to, at best, mediocre quarter play basically throughout the duration of my career, I would be a little bit vocal of who I'd want to be my quarterback. You had Teddy Bridgewater come in. His first solid quarterback option comes in 1,000 yards. Amazing season. We're starting to think, maybe this is where Robbie turns his career around, really get his career on the trajectory that he was expected with Jets. Unfortunately, didn't come into fruition. Then he has this past season where he has under 600 yards, 519 to be exact. And that was with Sam Darnold, who he really couldn't get on the same page with in New York. I'm assuming that coming into the season, and we saw it throughout the season, that he struggled to have a true connection with Sam Darnold.
And New York, though, they were coming together.
To a degree, I mean,
Darnold was in that
779 yards. It wasn't even his career high. No, 941 in 2017.
Oh, damn.
And 7 touchdowns that year, too. He's regressed since his sophomore year, outside of 2020, where he had over 1,000, almost 1,100 yards. If I'm Robbie Anderson, I understand where he's coming from. If I'm Robbie Anderson, I want to say of who my quarterback is, because I've shown with an above average quarterback talent in Teddy Bridgewater, I could put up almost 1,100 receiving yards. But you give me a Sam Darnold, you give me someone, I don't think Baker's in that Sam Darnold class. That's incredibly rude to Baker Mayfield. I definitely think he's an upgrade. But we saw Baker Mayfield with Odell Beckham Jr., and we were under the belief that Odell was going to go to play with Baker, and he was going to put up unbelievable stats. They were going to be one of the best duos in the NFL, and it was a bust. And we started to blame Odell Beckham Jr. And I say we, I do not mean me, because I never, ever, once for a second, believed that Odell Beckham was the problem out of the two. Go watch the tape. Odell's father did everyone a favor and drew up a 10-minute clip of how Baker Mayfield was the problem. Odell leaves, goes to the Rams, and shows who he really is, Odell Beckham Jr. He saw a situation like that transpire, and he realizes maybe Baker Mayfield isn't the quarterback for me. Do I disagree too much with what you're saying? No, you just put up one of the worst seasons of your career. Focus on the grind. Yes, I agree. Focus on the grind, more importantly. But it was an Instagram post. It was no. Could have been worse. However, I feel him. He wants a quarterback that's going to maximize his opportunity, especially at this point in his career.
I'll briefly talk about Robbie because he's not worth mentioning too much.
Lord, that was rude.
He's had a 1,000-yard season. That was a Teddy Bridgewater. Baker Mayfield is easily better than Teddy Bridgewater. For him to disrespect Baker Mayfield the way he disrespected him without knowing any prior knowledge of what he's been through is ridiculous.
What do you mean? He knows
Baker Mayfield played through a torn labrum the entire 2021 season.
Robbie wasn't aware of that.
He probably wasn't. If he made that comment, he wasn't.
Bro, all he said was no. No. That's all he said.
And I don't want to get political on the show.
Oh my God, here he goes.
He says no to Baker, then says, I would love Colin Kaepernick. Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. Come on. Let's just be honest here. Colin Kaepernick led a team to Super Bowl once. That was when? In like 2012?
It's a while ago.
Yeah. Baker's a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. So the fact that you're saying yes to him and disrespecting Baker is ridiculous to me. Baker's better than Robbie. Baker's better than Teddy Bridgewater. Baker's led a team to the playoffs. Baker has leadership charisma that you can't teach to a quarterback. The years where things have been right.
What does he do?
I'm sorry.
What does he do that you can't teach to a quarterback?
I'm sorry.
Tell
Because he said
Russell
Wilson got carried and Baker Mayfield led a team
Can
to the
you
playoffs.
stop?
That was crazy.
What does Baker Mayfield have
I said
that
for the
other
Legion of
quarterbacks-
Boom.
What?
Russell's still amazing, bro.
And you want to talk about leadership.
Russell
You wanna
Wilson
talk about
led teams to the
leadership.
playoffs too?
You want to talk about leadership. Russell Wilson's the epitome of leadership. Don't
He is.
ever compare the two.
He is.
Don't ever.
I never compared Baker
Don't
to
ever.
Russell Wilson.
My point.
What are you talking
what
about?
Does
You said
Baker
Russ
Mayfield
got
do?
carried, then
What
you
does
said
Baker
Baker
Mayfield
led
do?
his
Bro,
team.
I never
Tell me.
compared Baker to Russ.
Tell me.
What are you
does
talking
he do
about?
that other quarterbacks don't? Tell me.
Baker?
Yeah.
He's a leader.
No,
He
he's
has
not.
Charisma.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
Maybe.
is.
Maybe he has charisma.
I think leader's the last thing you say about Baker.
I knew this was gonna come from you two, so don't worry. I have receipts ready. But okay.
I need ammo. Give me some ammo.
I don't want to talk about Robbie too much because he would be a fool to not want Baker Mayfield. It's as simple as that. Baker Mayfield would be the best quarterback Robbie Anderson has ever played with. Robbie's the same guy that called Sam Darnold special. I'm not taking his opinion on this too seriously.
You thought he was special too.
The more I think
So did I.
about Baker Mayfield to the Panthers, the more I believe the Panthers can be a playoff team, believe it or not. In an NFC that is weaker than in years past,
All right.
he goes
Fair.
to the NFC South. Is Baker Mayfield not by far the second best quarterback in that division?
He's beating out your boy Jameis? He's
is.
better than Jameis?
Of course.
Wow.
He is.
I agree.
Wow.
I agree.
Is he
All jokes
by
aside,
far
I
not
agree.
the second best quarterback in that division?
Yeah.
If Brady retires
By
next
far,
season, if,
Jameis is it's a conversation. I can have that conversation.
if Tom Brady retires next season, which I don't know if he is or not, Baker now becomes the best quarterback in that division.
Arguably.
You look at the Carolina Panthers, they had the fourth best passing defense. I understand Gilmore has left. They still have J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin in the secondary. They'll be fine there. And the 18th best rush defense, they were 21st in points, mostly due to an incompetent offense that couldn't move the ball. Baker Mayfield would have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, CMC. They signed Austin Corbett, Bradley Bozeman, both really good additions to that offensive line. Taylor Mond is a good right tackle. And then with their top 10 pick in the draft, if they can draft the Icky, or I think it's more likely to draft the Charles Cross, now you have 4 solid offensive linemen and you fix your offensive line problem. Is that team not a 9-win team in the NFC?
Do you trust Matt Rule? That's the issue because the Panthers,
good question.
They have the talent for sure, but Matt Rule has not shown me much of anything over these last few years since he's come in.
Well, he's a defensive head coach, and their defense has been the better part of their team.
I know they fired Brady, but who's their OC?
Ben
Do we know?
McAdoo.
McAdoo.
Yeah, Ben McAdoo, who not horrible.
Not horrible.
Depends who you ask. You have some Giants
So
fans.
you look
that might
at
be the worst ever.
You look at this team, and also I didn't even mention this. The Panthers also signed Rashard Higgins. Baker and him have a little chemistry from the Cleveland days.
And for some
do.
reason,
No,
they
they
did
do.
not use Rashad Higgins this season.
Facts.
What I'm saying is that the Panthers have the defense. They have the offense. The offensive line will be fixed.
Need that.
Baker Mayfield is a significant upgrade over
He is.
Sam Darnold or P.J. Walker, even Cam Newton.
Definitely
The
Cam.
coaching is a question mark.
he was
But
so bad.
because of how weak the NFC is going to be this season, because of how weak the NFC South is outside of Tampa, Baker can lead the Panthers to the playoffs next season. It's not crazy to say that. He can do it.
If they go to the playoffs, it's because of a tremendous defense, not because of Baker.
It's because the offense can be a top 15 offense.
It depends.
sure.
That offense can
For
cater
sure.
to Baker. You have Robbie, you have DJ who could cater to his strengths. You have CJ, you have CMC who can be great out of the backfield with Baker. He's shown that he's a dump off type quarterback as well. He just needs to be smart. And with that offense, they have the weapons. If they can put a decent offensive line, I don't disagree
Can
too
CMC stay
strongly.
healthy though?
But you gotta hope and pray.
Because Hubbard did not look great in his absence.
No, he had flashes, but overall he was
But even
not
s-
great.
yeah,
no,
no,
I agree.
not at
It's CMC. You're going from CMC, arguably the best running back in football, when on the field, to a backup.
But even Mike
You always
Davis, when
hate
he
that.
he wasn't
He was
CMC,
serviceable.
but he was a lot better than Hubbard.
He was serviceable. I agree.
No.
But it's because Mike Davis was a little bit. He had a little bit more shift to him, and he had strength.
which is weird because he's bigger than
Exactly. Super
Hubbard.
weird.
Yeah,
Super
Hubbard's
weird.
kind of like slow.
Baker has already in his short career came around and changed the franchise in Cleveland. Carolina, who's been one of the more dysfunctional organizations in the past couple of seasons.
They went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
In
but-
2015, I'm
yeah.
saying in
Went
the past
15
couple of
and won.
seasons.
I understand.
In
But
the
Last few
past
seasons
in the
been rough.
past couple of seasons, things have been rough. Baker can go and turn them around and change up that culture. And I
I
wanted
wouldn't
to
say dysfunctional.
I wanted to mention this.
Would you say dysfunctional?
Baker's a culture setter.
Apparently. In Cleveland,
If
you
Baker-
ask Cleveland
if-
fans, he's their pride and joy.
if
And
Baker Mayfield goes to Carolina, he saves Matt Rule's job. There's no doubt. And if we're talking, if
They
we're
need to go to the playoffs.
and if we're projecting,
CMC needs to stay
and
healthy
if
for
we're-
this to happen.
and if we're projecting, and we're saying Tom Brady retires next year, not only can the Panthers make the playoffs this year,
They'd be looking.
they
to
can
upgrade.
win that division next
They'll be
season.
looking to upgrade off Baker.
No,
only thing
I
that,
disagree.
Only thing
Yes,
that's
bro.
sticking with me is that you're saying they're a dysfunctional franchise. I disagree.
Past couple
I feel
seasons they
like
have been.
They've just been stuck in the middle ground and slightly below that. I understand. Dysfunctional strong.
Let me. I want to read you these quotes because you guys tell me Baker's not a leader, all this stuff, and the example that pops up is Odell Beckham. That's the huge example. But what about the other guys on the roster? What do they say about Baker Mayfield? So let me read them right here. Joel Bitonio, great offensive lineman on Baker Mayfield. He's going to have this surgery. I think he's going to come back with a vengeance.
Okay, one of his friends.
J.C. Treader, center, offensive
Another
lineman.
friend.
Great offensive lineman. I love Baker, and he's my guy. I pray that this offseason is good to him and he gets back to 100% and ready to go. This is Myles Garrett talking about him. In a brief interaction with TMZ Sports Friday night, star defensive end Myles Garrett was asked if he still has confidence in Mayfield. His response, he's my quarterback, Garrett said. He's my guy.
When was
He's
this?
stuck by us.
When was
I'm going
this?
to stick by him.
When was this?
Let me just read them all.
No, when
What year?
was this?
What year was
No,
that?
this was just recent. This was recent.
Bro, they have Deshaun Watson. That's not the quarterback.
But this was probably before they got Deshaun Watson. Okay. Now, this is Nick Chubb. He's had every reason to quit, and he could have rested. He could have had surgery week 2 and not played much this year, but he stuck it out for us, and he fought for us every game, every day.
Can you
said
read,
Nick
can
Chubb.
you read quotes from other like outsiders that are
and this
talking about
and this
him?
is Keenum, Case Keenum. You know,
all
great
people
backup
within the
quarterback.
team. These receipts are irrelevant.
No, they are relevant.
They're irrelevant.
Wait, how is the teammates' quotes not relevant to
What
Baker
else
Because
Mayfield?
they
What are
can
they
like
gonna say,
you
bro?
as exactly.
This is Case Keenum. This is what he said.
I don't
let me read it.
I don't care.
I did have a front row seat to one of the gutsiest, toughest performance of a quarterback playing in the season that I have ever seen. I think his entire season, he was battling a lot of things. He's one of the toughest guys I know, and he's a fighter. He came to fight every single day and push through a lot of adversity just to get on the field on Sundays. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and it even grew more. These are Browns teammates talking about Baker and the competitor, the fighting spirit, the leader that he is. And then you guys trying to tell me he's not a leader? This is what his teammates say about him.
Bro, his
he
teammates have nothing else to say.
He
What-
goes to Carolina. Yeah, he's changing the culture there.
Cam Newton already did that, King.
He did. Yeah, where?
Went to a
15-1
Super Bowl.
MVP.
In 2015.
One of
I'm
the
talking about
greatest
recent, right now.
Come on, man.
Recent right now. Cam Newton is
You
not
love
as
to
good
bring
as
up
Baker.
the past with Matt Ryan. Come on now, stop it.
Yeah, literally the
2015,
year after
2017,
Cam Newton
can we
went to the
stop
Super
it?
Bowl. Bro, Baker, like his teammates are gonna say this about him. Like this
Oh, yeah?
isn't surprising.
Really?
Yes.
You think so? He's a leader. He's a leader. So I want to ask you, Joe. I want to ask you because you're so hard on Baker. Was him not playing through that torn labrum the entire season not gutsy?
Of course, he's tough as hell. I'm not questioning him as a man, as his toughness or grittiness.
So you're telling me that's the guy I want as a quarterback. Guy who's gonna tough it out.
But like
gutsy.
you bring up these quotes from his teammates. His teammates are gonna say these things because they're teammates. They're not.
They don't
gonna go
have
out,
to say it.
They're not gonna go out there and be like, yeah, Baker, he's all right. You know, like we don't hang out much, but he seems okay. They're not gonna say that. They're gonna stand behind their guy, whether they're right or wrong.
Well, they don't have to stand behind him either. And the fact that they're doing so,
I'm sure we could
I
find
love
some
it.
great quotes
No, I
about
can
Sam
tell you-
Darnold on the
look,
Jets.
bro. I just found a quote,
Like,
a quote about
No.
Carson Wentz from Michael Pittman. I just see a team guy. He's always ready to help and just do whatever it takes. He's been a great guy and a great teammate.
Like this is
Carson
all
Wentz,
coach
right?
speak. This is all coach speak. This is what teammates
you
are gonna
just
do.
Find
I don't
quotes
take
like
too
this
much.
all-
I don't take consideration into that too much. That doesn't move me.
We can find
nothing
quote.
what you
Darius
said moved
Leonard said
me.
something really nice about Wentz too.
He just said we just have 7 quarterbacks and we just stick with one. That's
Jacob
what Darius
Eason, he's done
Leonard
a
said.
tremendous job, whether it's in meetings or in the locker room. He engages guys.
Leonard said some nice things about him.
Well, that's good, but also we can find a lot of quotes from Eagles players bashing his leadership style.
I'm sure we could find quotes on Baker.
You sure find him. Find him.
Odell dropped a 10-minute clip bashing Baker Mayfield. Exactly. Take that empty sip of water because you need a thought.
Those aren't tips. I mean, those aren't quotes.
No, it's facts. What he showed
That's
you
film.
were facts.
You're right. That's film. But guess what? Baker also has.
That was his ether. Odell's dad ethered Baker.
But Baker
Mayfield.
also has a dog in his fight because when Odell
No pun
got hurt,
intended.
Baker took his game to a different level. Can we just admit that both guys weren't right for each other? Sometimes it happens in relationships. Sometimes it happens between quarterbacks and
It
wide
shouldn't
receivers.
happen.
Sometimes it does.
It shouldn't have.
It really shouldn't.
And
but-
even though I know that Odell went to the Rams and he was awesome, he was
Amazing.
great.
Thank you.
Can we also acknowledge Matthew Stafford's greatness? He's somebody who got Kenny Galladay paid.
Rich.
That is
Rich
so
coming from-
unbelievable.
No, don't
He's
do this.
not
I've
allowed.
always
He's
loved
not
Matthew
allowed.
Stafford. I've always
No,
loved Matthew
no,
Stafford.
no.
Don't
Oh
do
my
that.
God.
Don't
You're giving
do
me a
that.
headache
Always
this
Don't do
something
that.
with you,
You're
bro.
giving
I've
me a
always loved
headache.
Matthew Stafford.
Always. You quit on him. You turned your back on him.
I questioned it, but
and it was a foolish decision.
I questioned
would
it, but I
border even
love
go as
Matthew
far to
Stafford.
say stupid.
I love
That's
Matthew
how far I
Stafford.
would go.
I love Matthew Stafford though.
You do a terrible job of showing it.
Maybe I do. Maybe
You
that's
guys have
what I
some
to work.
communication issues you have to work out.
But I
Correct.
definitely love Matthew Stafford. I was extremely high on him going to the Rams. I love that he went there.
You were not extremely high.
Yes, I was.
Extremely high is the boldest thing you could say.
I was
Because
extremely
extremely
high.
high would have been that you were along with the ride with Joel and I, a.k.a. the Ramley, that he was going to win the Super Bowl. But you couldn't trust him in
No,
the
I couldn't.
playoffs. And what did he do? 3 comeback victories, game-winning drives,
I couldn't
consecutive
trust him.
games.
I couldn't trust him.
Don't doubt him.
But guess
Matty
what?
Ice, the real Matty Ice.
But guess what?
But now he's trying to right his wrongs following the other Matty Ice now that he's in a similar situation, so I can respect him.
No.
But he's on the wrong trail.
No, listen. I was wrong about Matthew Stafford. There's no doubt about that. But I was never low on Stafford.
You were.
The difference
You doubted
between
him.
you
Enough.
two,
Enough.
I'm gonna group you into the Baker stuff, but I'm not gonna group you into the Matt Ryan stuff. The difference between you two is that you, Mister,
Yes.
with Matt Ryan, not only do you doubt what the team can do,
you gonna compare Matt
doubt
Ryan to Matt Stafford?
what the quarterback can
Yes,
do.
that's what
Are
he's
you
gonna
going
do.
to compare Matt
That's what he's
Ryan
gonna do.
and the Colts to Matt Stafford and the Rams?
And then with Baker Mayfield, you two, rude awakening for you two.
No.
Is there
No.
anything on the
I'm
Colts that's
telling
better
you.
than the Rams?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes. Yep.
No.
That's it.
The offensive line is better.
No.
Yes, it is.
Maybe going into the season.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
okay.
season, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
going to say
agree.
facts.
The defense is better.
Debatably.
Debatably.
We could talk, but even still, no. Me personally.
I'm just saying. I'm man enough to admit I was wrong about the Super Bowl which is, I mean,
No.
the odds
The
on that are
whole
crazy.
postseason.
season, yeah.
The whole
The season.
postseason.
But I was never low on Stafford as a quarterback. I always knew he was a great quarterback.
You chose the
You
Rams.
don't think you
one.
don't think Matt Ryan's a great quarterback anymore?
No, he's not a great quarterback.
He is a great quarterback.
He's above average.
Wait,
at
is
times.
Kirk Cousins great?
No.
Ooh,
He-
okay.
he
Great.
is.
Okay. all right.
Semantics here. Great?
Agreed.
No.
Agreed. Okay. He's
good.
So he's really good.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
I'd rather have Kirk than
Dak
Matt Ryan.
Prescott, great.
Really good.
Oh wow, you're hurting me.
Great's such a
I know.
Strong
I
term.
know.
No,
All
I
right,
have. There's two different tiers.
So you have
elite,
Herbert.
great, elite, and great. Elite, great, good.
great. Good.
All right, I'm in.
Matt
I
Ryan
agree.
is great.
He's good. He's good.
No, Matt
He's
Ryan
good.
is
He's
great.
He's good.
He's good.
I'm with you because you don't have Herbert as elite, right? Correct? Or you have Herbert in the elite tier. You have him in the elite tier now? All right, so you have Burrow, Stafford, Russ,
Lamar.
You have Lamar and great.
I was gonna say, we're talking great tier.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
facts,
great.
facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You don't have Lamar in the elite tier.
No. He's
Burrow?
right there.
Burrow?
No. The elite tier is
Ridiculous.
Herbert, Rodgers, Brady, Allen, Mahomes. I love Lamar as much as anyone else, but he's not in that tier right now.
Kyler Murray, great.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I understand it, which
You're
is
taking
why I
Kyler Murray
understand.
with Matt Ryan.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sometimes I think you don't watch football, bro.
No,
Like,
that
sometimes
is
I'm
facts.
dead ass, bro.
That is facts.
Matt Ryan,
Like,
being
Kyler
hyped.
Murray-
MVP.
Stop.
Kyler Murray plays a
Stop.
different type of football.
Choose your next
bro.
words
MVP?
wisely. Choose your next words wisely. Don't say something foolish.
You know I don't like Kyler. I'm not a big fan of Kyler.
Yeah, and you're bugging for that.
I don't think so.
He'll probably have the same season as Kyler last year. They'll make the playoffs, get bounced in the first round.
Well, I mean, they might not even make the playoffs.
Who?
Arizona.
I was talking about Colts.
Now in the week NFC, they can make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs, facts. 3 wild card spots.
The
Correct.
Cardinals got weaker as a team.
overly. You think
They
Lost
did.
Chandler Jones.
that hurts? But Marcus Golden was solid. I think that
Come
he's
on.
not gonna fully take over Chandler Jones' role. No way. But if JJ Watt's healthy, things get interesting. Their secondary stinks. Their secondary
Lost
stinks.
Chase Edmonds.
But they
Got
need
Conlon.
they can fix that with the draft. They can draft a corner. They can
Brought
draft a
AJ Green
DB.
back, if that means
AJ
anything.
Green,
Yeah,
if
no.
DeAndre's
And they lost
DeAndre's
Christian
healthy,
Kirk.
I'm fine.
Facts.
If DeAndre's healthy,
You know that's a loss.
if DeAndre's healthy, Rondell Moore now gets a little bit more opportunity. AJ
He's a
Green's still on
gadget
the
guy.
outside.
Like,
Okay,
you
gadget
serious?
guy with Kyler Murray. Sign me
Gadget
up.
guy with 4.2 speed.
Sign me up. He got Christian Kirk $84 million.
He did. Oh, for sure he did.
No, Christian Kirk is
Isn't
just
that
a
crazy?
good receiver.
Isn't that crazy?
He's just a good receiver.
Dude.
He's the third highest paid wide receiver. Good.
Christian Kirk is good. He falls in the good category.
What's the over?
barely and barely.
Christian Kirk gets 1,000 yards with the Jags this season.
No way.
Okay,
I'll take the under on 1,000.
I'll take the over. I think he gets 1,000 yards this season with the Jags.
What do you have? He had just missed out on
Trevor
1,000,
has
right?
to be.
He had
Trevor.
894. I believe.
If Trevor is Trevor, it's a good bet. He's making a good bet,
There's a lot of weapons there, low key.
No, it's just that he's the only guy there.
which is why it's a
they
good
got,
bet.
They got Marvin Jones,
Yeah, Laviska.
But come on,
I feel like they have someone else.
They better throw the ball to him if you're giving him
ETN's coming
84.
back.
Facts.
He's
Zay
he's gonna-
Jones.
Justin Ross is going to get drafted by them, according to Jay.
He's
Maybe it's a
hoping.
top 10 receiver.
James Robinson.
I'm taking the over on 1,000 by
Now,
Christian Kirk.
There was
this
really
year.
this Clemson fan page that said, "Who's stopping this trio with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and Justin Ross?" I said, "What am I looking at here?" Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh my god! Would he break his leg? Right? Something like
Ross?
that. Yeah.
No, his neck.
Oh yes.
Yeah, bro. He has a very scary injury concern.
Baker Mayfield. Just be ready.